Howdy, 7th grade. Today we're going to be talking about how to convert units when we're dealing with rates. And we're going to start off by reviewing converting units, which is something we did a while ago. So I figure we should start with the easy stuff, then we'll get back to the hard part. So to do converting units, what that is going to look like, my favorite example is to convert 7.5 quarts, sorry, wrong way, gallons to quarts. So if I want to convert 7.5 gallons into quarts, what is it that I should do? And as it turns out, if we remember correctly, we should make one of these T-charts, and we're going to write what we're going to start with right here, 7.5 gallons. And I'm going to write what I want to end with right here, quarts, and gallons I want to get rid of, so it goes on the bottom. So just as a friendly reminder, we start with our number right here. We want to get to quarts, so we put it on top. We want to get rid of gallons, so we put it on bottom. So what we're going to do now is we're going to need our multiplier. And what our multiplier is just our relationship between quarts and gallons. And we know that 4 quarts is equal to 1 gallon. So in front of quarts, we're going to write 4. In front of gallons, we're going to write 1. And I went over why this worked in the last video when we went over this last semester. It's because if 4 quarts are equal to 1 gallon, when we do this division, 4 quarts divided by 1 gallon is actually 1. And we can multiply 1 gallon by 1 and still end up with 1 gallon. So when we do this multiplication here, because we're going to treat this like a fraction in a second, we're not actually changing anything. It's going to stay as 7.5 gallons, but hopefully we can get it into quarts. So again, now we have 7.5 gallons with our T-chart, 4 quarts on top, and 1 gallon on bottom. And because we have gallon on top and on bottom, those cancel out, just like all our fractions do. And we have 7.5 and 4, which we're going to multiply. 7.5 times 4 is going to be 30. We have a quarts on top. Quarts. That's going to be divided by the 1 that's on bottom. So we can say that is 30 quarts. And that's basically how that worked. So now we're going to get into the new stuff. And the new stuff is going to be with rates. So a lot of the time when we do this, we're going to talk about miles per hour. So if I want to look at things in miles per hour, let's say that I have 60 miles per hour, and I want to know how many miles a minute that is. So we have 60 miles per hour, and I want to go to miles per minute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the very same T-chart I started with, but this time I have 60 miles, and hour is going to be on bottom, because how we normally write 60 miles per hour would be 60 times miles divided by hour. But that's exactly the same as 60 miles over hour. So if we want to get to miles per minute, what we're going to look at is the hour and the minute. Because if we notice, we already have miles all good to go. So because these are the same, that makes me happy. I don't have to worry about it. It's going to stay miles. But I want to get from hour to minute here. So what we're going to have to do is get rid of this hour. And how I'm going to get rid of this hour is on bottom right now, so to get it to cancel, I'll have to put it on top. And I want it to become minute, so underneath there, I'm going to put minute. And I hope we know that there's 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. So next to minutes, I'm going to write 60. Next to hour, I'm going to write 1. I have an hour on top and on bottom. Those are going to cancel. 60 on top and on bottom, those cancel, and I'm left with 1 mile per minute. And that's how that is going to work. I want to try one other one real quick. If I'm only going, let's say, 1 kilometer, or actually let's stick with 60 miles per hour. But I want to get it to kilometers per minute. So for this, I'm going to need two different things. My relationship between miles to kilometers, because I want to get from miles to kilometers there. And I can tell you that 1.6 kilometer is going to be equal to 1 mile. And we still need to know our relationship between hours and minutes, so 60 minutes equals 1 hour. So we're going to draw our T-chart here, and we're going to start with 60 miles per hour. And what I want to change, I can start with either of these. I need to get rid of miles and I need to get rid of hours. So looking at miles, I see that it is on top. So to get rid of it, I'm going to put it on bottom. And I want to get to kilometers because I have kilometers and miles here. So I know that 1 mile is equal to 1.6 kilometers. And just like this, I have a miles on top and on bottom. I can cancel them out. But this is not enough because I still have those hours on bottom. So I'm going to make this an even bigger chart. I'm just going to continue it over. And I have hours on bottom that I want to get rid of. So I'm going to put hours on top. And I want to get to minutes. So I'm going to put minutes on bottom. And when I do this, I can say that 1 hour is the same as 60 minutes. And I have an hour on bottom and an hour on top, so they cancel. So now all I got to do is go through and multiply this out. 60 times 1.6 is going to be, I believe, 96 kilometers, because I have the kilometers on top, divided by 60. And after that, I can, 60 minutes, I'm sorry, don't want to forget that. I can do 96 divided by 60, which will give me 1.6 kilometers per minute. And that's what all of these problems are going to look like. We're going to have our first number on top, our first number on bottom, and we need to figure out which of these we want to get to. And then we just add on these little brackets at the end of our T-chart to cancel out what we don't want and get to what we do want. And once we're there, we're all done. In this case, the answer was 1.6 kilometers per minute. There are 8 problems in the practice set. A lot of them are very, very easy. The last couple are a little bit harder, but I would very much encourage you to try. And I will see y'all in class tomorrow. Have a great day.